This is Radio Taiwan International. Welcome to the news on Radio Taiwan International. I'm Michelle Chang coming to you from Taipei, Taiwan. We begin with a look at today's top stories for Friday, January 2nd. The United States urges China to exercise restraint in the Taiwan Strait. China's travel ban to Japan severely impacts Chinese-owned businesses. And President Lai Ching-te warns that a budget failure could derail the long-term Care 3.0 plan. But first, today's top story. In a statement Thursday, the U.S. State Department urged China to exercise restraint in the Taiwan Strait, saying PLA wargames unnecessarily raised tensions in the region. On Friday, Taiwan's Foreign Ministry, or MOFA, thanked the U.S. for its continued support, saying Taiwan will continue to work with all like-minded countries towards the goals of Indo-Pacific peace and stability and international rules-based order. Following China's Justice Mission 2025 exercises around Taiwan Monday and Tuesday, U.S. State Department Principal Deputy Spokesperson Thomas Pigat said Beijing should prioritize meaningful dialogue over staged war games. He said, quote, "We urge Beijing to exercise restraint, cease its military pressure against Taiwan, and instead engage in meaningful dialogue." The United States supports peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait and opposes unilateral changes to the status quo, including by force or coercion, end quote. The United States isn't the only country to voice concern over the drills. Japan, the Philippines, Australia, and the EU also issued statements of concern, pushing for security in the region. MOFA said these statements demonstrate the clear international consensus that maintaining security in the Strait is of vital importance to all parties. They also note that the UN Charter explicitly prohibits use of force or threats, a ruling which also applies to the Taiwan Strait and its associated waters in the first island chain. To that end, MOFA spokesperson Xiao Guangwei underscored that
Taiwan will continue to cooperate with all like-minded countries to jointly uphold rules-based international order and promote peace, stability, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific region and the world.
According to Nikkei Asia, China's recent travel bans to Japan have impacted Chinese businesses rather than the Japanese industry as intended.
Following the Chinese diplomatic retaliation to Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi's remarks about a potential crisis in Taiwan, China issued a travel ban for Japan last month. Unfortunately, the ban has severely impacted Chinese-owned travel businesses, rather than hurting the Japanese tourism industry as intended. According to Nikkei Asia, the Chinese-owned businesses that have long operated in Japan and cater specifically to Chinese tourists are seeing a severe impact from China's travel ban. Many of these companies are all-inclusive, which handle almost the entire travel experience in Japan, from accommodation and transportation to entertainment and dining. These services are provided in Chinese, and most payments are made through Chinese online payment systems. Although there are currently no official surveys or statistics on the scale of the all-inclusive industry, an unnamed Chinese marketing analyst estimates that the industry's annual output exceeds 1 trillion yen, approximately $64 billion. A Nikkei Asia reporter visited Ueno, Tokyo in mid-December and found many previously bustling Chinese restaurants deserted. Similar situations are playing out across the country, with small travel agencies, charter drivers, tour guides, vacation stays, and even kimono rental shops run by Chinese experiencing a significant drop in business. Japanese businesses are attempting to shift their focus to serving tourists from other countries. But for Chinese operators, this move is particularly difficult. As political tensions continue, China's own businesses are facing potentially devastating losses, with no relief or end to the travel ban in sight. Michelle Chang and Amanda Stevens for RTI News.
President Lai Ching-te visited the Jinghao Garden Comprehensive Long-Term Care Facility on Friday, his first public outing since the New Year's holiday. The trip demonstrates his focus on rolling out Long-Term Care 3.0 after stating that Taiwan has become a super-aged society. The new 3.0 builds on former President Ma Ying-jeou's care plan and President Tsai Ing-wen's version 2.0. Care facilities have grown from 720 to over 15,000, with more than 100,000 caregivers. Annual funding has also risen from about 5 billion NT dollars or $159 million US dollars under Ma to over 80 billion NT dollars or $2.5 billion US dollars under Tsai, 90 billion NT dollars or $2.8 billion US dollars in Lai's first year, and this year will hit 100 billion NT dollars or $3.1 billion US dollars. Long-term care 3.0 emphasizes stronger institutional care, family respite services, better medical linkages, and expanded eligibility to include those with mild dementia or disability. Lai said,
"We are moving beyond long-term care 2.0. We are broadening it. And then we are adding medical care. Ultimately, it will become a region with home care services, community services, institutional services, and medical services, connecting them so that our elderly can receive better care when needed.
Interacting with seniors at a long-term care facility, Lai voiced concern that the impassed central government budget threatens long-term care 3.0. He pledged to work with the cabinet and legislature to pass it as soon as possible, ensuring more funds and resources are available so that care for the elderly continues uninterrupted. The president emphasized that the plan transcends party lines, pledging support even in the KMT-led Yilan County. He urged collaboration between the central government, local government, and private organizations. Overseas Taiwanese communities and representative offices around the world held flag-raising ceremonies Friday morning to ring in the new year. Groups in the Philippines, Netherlands, Australia, and South Africa celebrated diplomatic gains and a feeling of solidarity with their Taiwanese identity even in times of global hardship. Philippines Representative Zhou Mingkan noted that despite external pressure from Chinese military threats and U.S. tariffs, Taiwan-Philippines relations made a great leap forward. Bilateral relations warmed considerably, with the Philippines making it easier for officials and tourists to visit by easing restrictions on government personnel visiting for trade and investment. Additionally, Taiwanese tourists were granted a 14-day landing visa in July of last year, significantly boosting tourism. In the Netherlands, more than 100 overseas Taiwanese braved freezing temperatures to join the national anthem at the flag-raising ceremony. Representative Tian Zongguang pointed to Taiwan's growing soft power in 2025, with the overseas community hosting local cultural days, film screenings, participating in Amsterdam's Pride Parade, and the 2025 Asian Film Festival. These events, Tian said, showcase the deepening Taiwanese-Dutch relationship, which will continue to be the mission's focus in 2026. In Australia, the overseas community held a New Year's Day tea party. Taipei Economic and Cultural Office Director Wu Zhenwei said the office will utilize the Foreign Ministry's comprehensive diplomacy strategy in 2026, working towards the vision of Taiwan as an economic powerhouse. This strategy involves actively expanding the Taiwan-Australia partnership based on the pillars of democracy, peace, and prosperity, especially as a key player in the stability of the Indo-Pacific region. 2026's Tea Party was the largest in recent years, and thanks to the Australian government and other like-minded countries, including the UK, France, and Germany, for their support, especially over China's Justice Mission 2025 drills. In Benoni, South Africa, over 300 members of the overseas Taiwanese community participated in a flag-raising ceremony to mark the 115th year of the ROC. The community expressed its concern over the ongoing negotiations for Taiwan's South African representative office, with the hope that dialogue and cool heads will resolve the issue in the coming year. In 2025, South Africa's government unilaterally demanded that Taiwan move and downgrade its representative office from Pretoria. The issue is still unresolved, although Taiwan's foreign ministry proposed negotiations with South Africa as early as January 2026. Addressing the South African overseas community, Representative Oliver Liao pointed out that Thursday's New Year's Day ceremony provided overseas Taiwanese with an opportunity to express their identity and pride. The flag-raising ceremony, Liao said, was an emotional connection to Taiwan for all who attended, demonstrating their commitment to the universal values of freedom and democracy. The weather will remain cold through the beginning of the year across Taiwan, dropping steadily from Friday. The coldest stretch is expected to hit Friday, lasting through Saturday morning, when much of the nation is forecast to dip below 10 degrees Celsius. The Central Weather Administration, or CWA, urges the public to take precautions against the cold when going out. The cold front intensified early Friday, with New Taipei's Ximen district hitting a low of 9.3 degrees Celsius with further drops on the way. The CWA forecasts temperatures below 10 degrees Celsius Friday morning through Saturday morning for everywhere north of Tainan, Yilan, Hualien, the East Rift Valley, mountainous areas near Kaohsiung and Pingdong, and the outlying islands of Jinmen and Mazu. Temperatures should rebound Sunday to above 20 degrees Celsius, but another cold mass will arrive on Monday, keeping most of the next week chilly. Watch for fog or low clouds south of Chiayi from Monday and slim snow chances on northern mountains at altitudes of 1,500 to 2,000 meters on January 9th. Thanks for joining me for the news. I'm Michelle Chang. Stay tuned for another 50 minutes of English language features brought to you by Radio Taiwan International. Cash for everyone. The government is giving out 10,000 NT dollars. It's easy to claim. Choose direct deposit, ATM, or post office. Check details at the official website 10,000.gov.tw or 10000.gov.tw or call the free hotline at 1988. Stay alert. Don't trust unknown sources. This advertisement is brought to you by the Ministry of Finance.